Are you ready for the best Kansas City Chiefs insight? Welcome to ChiefsBlitz.com YouTube podcast with your hosts, Nick Athen, Andre Tillman, and producer Hense Todd. They'll break down the three-time Super Bowl champions as only they can do. Here's your host, Nick Athen.
What's up, gang? We are back at Chiefs Blitz. Joining me first off, playing the role of Nick Athen today, I'll be your humble host, Lou Montagna. Joining me, as always, is our producer, Hense Todd, and the coach. Yes, that's right, the coach, Dre Tillman, and also the devil's advocate on this show, and he wears that moniker very well, keeps us Chiefs fans in check, and hey, he's here to, again, keep us honest. First off, we want to, again, thank our sponsor, Dave Purdy of Supreme Lending. You can reach Dave at 913-225-7304. He's our initial sponsor, so he'll always hold a special place in our heart. Good friend of Nick Athen. So if you have any lending needs, Dave Purdy's your guy. Supreme Lending, 913-225-7304. Okay, it is a Victory Friday, gentlemen. It comes along a couple times a year. We didn't get a chance against Detroit. We didn't get that chance, but we sure as hell did it against the Broncos. So let's start off right there with the game. Let's right off the bat. The Chiefs now have beaten Denver 16 times in a row. 16 times in a row. I think it's an NFL record. Maybe a tie. I don't care, but it's like Patrick is 12-0, so it even goes back to Alex Smith. So it's just bang the drum. It's just same old. But first off, Dre, if we were to just on offense,
right?
If you were to give me one thing that you're encouraged by and one thing you're concerned with offensively, what would those things be?
The run game is sweet.
Right.
My biggest concern is where's the ball going to when Kelce get blanket? Where is the ball going to?
Right.
Where's it going to?
Okay. Hence, what you got?
My biggest concern is who's like what Dre said. If Kelce's not in there, even though Kelce's one of the greatest players, greatest tight ends ever, but we got to. I know I'm tired of beating the dead horse, but we got to get these guys going, man. It is week. It's week 6. You know what I mean? It's week 6. We got to get these guys going. But again, my biggest takeaway from it is I see Rashee Rice did good, but other than that, man, you got to get these going. What you say, Lou?
Yeah, I think offensively, it is a work in progress, and I keep preaching, being patient. But at a certain point, as a fan, you lose patience because you want to see the big plays. You want to see the chains moving. You want to see Patrick, constantly making plays. But again, this is an evolution, and I think because of the strength of the team right now, and bite my tongue, is the defense. That the offense, again, dare I say, just doesn't need to screw it up. I like the balance. They're running the ball more. Pacheco is getting more touches. We've been calling for this for the last year, probably midway through last season to now. And that's starting to happen more and more. And he's productive every game. One of the concerns that I have, and I don't know if it was because it was a short week or whatever, is sometimes, I don't know if it's Coach Reed or whatever, but they tend to get a little too cute. Mm-hmm. And I know I was texting this to you guys in the group text last night, whether it was the faked field goal at 4th and 2. Again, I have no problem with going for it on 4th and 2, but don't take your best player off the field to get 4th and 2. And if you're going to fake it, hell, let he is proven that he can throw a pass. Have him throw it to Noah, leak him out on the side and get him outside. And he probably walks in for a touchdown. But that whole thing, it's a compact formation to begin with because it's a field goal. Right. And you're just running into this, whatever the strength of that defense is. You got a bunch of big guys out there. Noah can shake somebody. Tommy hits him, whatever. But bottom line is I would have rather seen leave Patrick on the field. Let's just go for it and go for it. The receivers, you guys hit that. It's going to be a work in progress. But my biggest concern, again, is getting a little too cute in short yardage situations.
I'm gonna say, go ahead, Bota.
Go ahead. And speaking of getting cute, man, it's not getting too cute for the Denver Broncos. The Chiefs is on a 16 Pacific, the win streak here, and it looked like Russell's not the answer. It looked like the wide receivers not the answer. It looked like Sean Payton's not the answer for him. At this point, the Chiefs is on this winning streak. Go ahead and talk about that, Coach Dre.
Well, let's really dive into the Sean Payton situation with the Denver Broncos. I can't necessarily say that Sean Payton is the bad, like he's the cause of their miscues. It's not him. It's the fact that he came into trash. He came to this big barrel of trash, right? He came to the situation where he got to go ahead and start making moves, start releasing some guys, start cutting some guys, and start to see, like, what can I use for my offense? Like, what can I use to build on, right? So right now is, Russell Wilson is a vet, but is he the caliber player that can take Sean Payton's offense to the next level? We don't know that yet, but so far, no. He got some nice weapons out there. He got a decent little run game right now. Kervin Williams came back. Looking at the defense from last night, defense played well. Jackson looked good. Mathis looked good, and of course, Patrick Surtain looked good. And they was getting some pressure on Mahomes also. So again, I can't take nothing away from Sean Payton. It's the fact that you came into this situation knowing this team needs work. So what's happening right now? He just basically playing it out. You know what I'm saying? Basically weeding out some guys and whatnot, understanding what he has to build on right now.
Well, to your point, as far as kind of weeding out the roster, they traded Randy Gregory last week.
Mm-hmm.
I believe Frank Clark was released this morning. So, and that's on the defensive side of the ball. So it obviously looks like they want to go with more youth on the defense. As far as offense is concerned, he's going to want to get his own guys in there. I don't know that Russ is the type of guy that's going to carry the team anymore. So what can they do with his contract? If they have to stick with him because of the contract, they're going to have to kind of play around him. And again, I mean, you can dissect this any way you like. I mean, Russell did not have a very good game. Okay. His completion percentage was much lower than, coming into his passer rating was lower than it's been all season. So, and again, I think that's more so the Chiefs defense, but going back to Peyton, he fell on his sword on a couple of things, or actually one thing when he said about the timeout at the end of the half. Right. So I think he's kind of learning from coming in and just making a bunch of bold statements about the previous regime and then what he was going to do, because it is a bigger rebuild than I think he even anticipated. Right. So this is going to be a bit. So I think this winning streak will probably continue for the Chiefs for some time. But then he also took a little shot at Russ when he said, and this was a quote from I think post game, to win in the NFL, you got to be better at throwing the ball. So in one case, I can see he's taking it upon himself because he calls the plays. And on the other hand, he's certainly looking at Russ, maybe being a little too careful with the ball for most of the game until the end, where he finally gave Sutton that chance in the corner of the end zone, and he made a spectacular play.
Fantastic.
We talked about it beforehand. Jalen Watson was in perfect position, great coverage. But again, if the pass is there, you just got to tip your cap to the receiver because he just made a better play, and you just move on to the next one and say, let's line up the next time. But again, the winning streak is something to behold because it is historical. And you don't think you would see that this day and age in the NFL with so much parity.
Right. I didn't think I would see seeing. I thought last night, I said, okay, the Chiefs are letting this team hang around. The Broncos going to catch on. They're going to come back. They probably come back, and then you see this in Chiefs recent history, in history that it happens. But again, the Chiefs defense is playing lights out. You know what I mean? So that was a big part of their win. But this winning streak is not no norm. It's better than I ever seen. You know what I mean? I just can't wait till we get on the winning streak with the Raiders also, man. So speaking of that, man, what y'all think about Rashee Rice play last night? Do y'all think he should have been getting the ball much more? What you guys think about that, Coach Dre?
Most definitely. I think Rashee Rice has been imposing his will. He's been coming through in the clutch, man, and clutch plays on clutch downs, especially on third downs. I mean, you can trust this guy, man, because he can take it out the backfield if you want to. I believe he can make them third and 10, third and 5, 31s. He can be the third down threat, honestly, and I believe he can be an X receiver. I do believe that. But again, you seen the production from Rashee Rice, because he is a great talent, But the issue for me with Rashee Rice is Nagy has to give him more touches, right? He has to really hone in on his playmakers, because right now you see what Rasheed's doing, but I don't think Nagy understands what he has right now. Because if you look at him and then my guy Justin Ross, you have your future right here with Rasheed and Justin, right? And you have Pac. So why are we still going through the receiving core right now?
Right.
Like, why are we still going through this right now? This is week 6.
Yep.
Mhm.
So next week gonna be week 7, where we're still trying to figure them out. Guys, what it is, it's not even Rashee Rice in them no more. It's Nagy.
Mhm.
Nagy is calling some bad. He's calling these games horribly. Bad play calling.
The difficult piece of this is and it was the same thing with Eric Bieniemy. Is Nagy calling all the plays? Is Coach Reed stepping in there? I don't think they're calling plays to the point where we're going to focus on this particular guy. Now, there's going to be
Mhm.
plays where he's the number one read, right? He's the first one that Patrick will look at. But again, that's up to the quarterback as well. So I would put a little bit of this on Patrick
On
too,
Patrick,
because
right? True.
again,
True.
in his mind, he feels that Travis is going to be open all the time. It's just a matter of, does he have time to get him the ball? So you kind of fall in love with that a little bit. And I don't know if you saw the one play last night where Kelsey was over the middle and he knew he was covered, and he kind of pointed out to his right where
Right.
Pacheco was, kind of telling Patrick where to throw the ball. Don't throw it to me, throw it to him. And he made the first down. But in terms of Rice, he is the young guy right now that is stepping up. He's making the most of his opportunities, and he's the one that's I think he's going to be the one that takes over that Juju role that, he kind of balances off of Travis, and he's a big guy. The thing you like about it, as far as comparing him to Juju, is that Rashee is a lot faster, probably a little bit better after the catch. And it's just exciting to see him, because when he caught that one last night, I think it was a 28-yard catch, it looked like he was going to house that thing. And he didn't
Mhm.
see the one guy, didn't really juke him, and he got tackled. But it's exciting to kind of see this. You guys talked about snaps and opportunities. I don't know, because he's a veteran. MVS is like a ghost anymore. And I hate to
Right.
see
Man.
that, because it seemed like he was coming on at the end of last year. But when you see Justin Ross only getting 10 snaps on offense, that's one thing that I would question. Because, and again, we're not there at practice every day. We don't know if, he's just not not confident enough, or maybe he's running the wrong route at the wrong time. I don't know, but you would think he can earn more snaps than that. But Rice, I'm all in. That's
Right.
the Juju character from last year,
Right.
except more speed, more run after the catch.
I think the MVS and Scott Moore experiments need to go ahead and sit down because it need to stop. Like I put in a chat last night that these guys are not getting open. If Mahomes are back there clutching the ball like 6 to 7 times, looking for somebody to get open, you guys not getting separation. Why taking Rice out if he's getting open, he's moving the ball? You got to go with the hot hand. You got to go with the hot hand of the receiver. You can't just keep saying, I'm going to see what we got in Sky Moore. We spent a high second round pick on him. So I'm going to see what we got in him. I'm going to see what we got in him. He's not looking like he's that guy. You know what I mean?
I think you'll see that as the season goes on, is where the snaps will become more centralized, and this is kind of like the weeding out or the tryout phase, because again, these guys can do it all in practice, but you got to see them in game situations. So fortunately, the Chiefs are still winning 5-1. We got the Chargers next week. And it'll grow. I think Sky, you can still hang with him. He did make a few plays last night. So he does give you that encouragement. He kind of teases you a little bit. So we'll see. Hopefully he can get some consistency.
And to be honest, guys, you know me, I love Patrick Mahomes. I truly do.
Don't hold back, sir.
He was just locking in on Travis Kelce like a little too much for me. Like last night, I was like, if you're gonna be, I understand that he's great. I love Patrick. I know he's great. I know he got a Super Bowls, but if you're gonna take that greatness to a next level, you got to be your responsibility too to have making these receivers great. Brady made his receivers great around him. Peyton Manning made his receivers great around him. Patrick, you got to not depend your whole career on Travis Kelce and Tyreek Hill. You got to make MVS better. You got to make Sky Moore better. You got to make Rashid Rice better. You got to make these Tonys better. You got to do this. You can't just sit there and lock in. Last night, I watched the All 22 film. I went back and watched it because I try my best to keep up with the stats. And I watched it again. I'm like, dude, Rashid Rice is coming across the middle wide open, right up in your face, and you looking to throw the ball to Kelce. You got to give these guys, a chance to, trust these guys to get these guys going. Only way they're going to get going if you trust them to throw them the ball.
I'm going to say this. I'm going to say this real quick.
Throwing the ball.
I'm going to say this real quick. If y'all, okay, let's really go in on Patrick Mahomes, guys. I'm going to dive right into his backside. If we're looking at great quarterbacks right now, right? We know he got to the Super Bowl rings. We know he got all this glow. I get that. But championship quarterbacks know to check the ball down. You move chains. You move the change. You make plays for the setup. You check the ball down. Okay, he's not open. My fullback, my running back's over here. We check the ball down, right? Make the defense like put pressure on the defense. Make them adjust right now, right? And what's happening is like what Bowtie just stated is you're forcing the ball to Travis Kelce too darn much. Too much to the point to where he's starting to show his age right now. Credit to the fact he did get hurt, but come on, you can't keep putting that pressure on that man. And my advice to Patrick Mahomes is trust your guys. Even to make a playmaker, throw the ball to him. Even if they're covered, throw the ball to him. Now, if they can make a play on the ball, he's not it. You have to be able to trust these guys because they covered. Larry Fitzgerald always was wide open. Steve Smith was wide open. T.O. was wide open. Marvin Harrison, Reggie Wayne. It's a lot of little great receivers that was trusted by the quarterbacks. Troy Brown, David Gibbons.
Yeah, perhaps later in their careers, but again, you can't discount the fact that these guys, again, it's time on task, it's experience. And if you watch the Rams play, Stafford is going to overthrow to Cooper Kupp. If Cooper Kupp's in there, that's his first read. If you watch Burrow play, his first read is Jamar Chase, and he's going to force it to him as often as possible. If you watch the Buffalo Bills play, Josh is going to throw it to Diggs as often as possible. So now, again, Travis isn't as dynamic as those guys, but that's who he trusts the most. So you're going to see a little bit of that. Now, again, it will change. And I think Patrick's done a much better job over the last few seasons of checking it down. Now, you don't see a ton, and Pacheco is just really starting to come on as a receiver. You'll see as the season goes on, as we get later, that McKinnon is going to have a much bigger role in the offense, and he's going to start catching passes, kind of like he did last year towards the end of the season and scored all those touchdowns. So I hear what you're saying, but again, I keep preaching patience because, we know how great he is. We know that he wants to spread the ball around. He's hit 10 different receivers, I think, in just about every game this year. So, does he make some poor decisions? Absolutely. So does every other quarterback. The pick that he threw to Justin Simmons, he should have never thrown that ball, but he was going to give one of those receivers an opportunity. But I think Cooper hit his arm and the ball kind of fluttered and Simmons was right there. So
go back and watch that play. You're going to see Scott. You're going to see Rashee Rice right there at the bottom, wide open.
Right. He may or may not have seen him. That's the other part of it. The all 22, you're looking straight down on it. Oh, yeah, I can see this guy's right. Now, imagine having the ball in your hands and a bunch of 6'5" guys in front of you, and you're trying to, again, I hear what you're saying. It makes complete sense, and I get frustrated as anybody else watching. But I think we have to have some patience because of the success that he's had and that some of the other receivers have had as the season progresses.
I'm going to say this, Lou. It's going on week 7.
Yeah.
Patience is wearing thin. It's wearing thin. You got the kingdom booing
on
the
fans.
Chiefs offense right now.
Again, I don't think they give a rat's ass about what the fans think.
So
at this
it's
point.
it's like this.
They're winning games. That's all they care about.
Right.
It's like this though.
As long as you win,
fantasy football is great. I have a couple Chiefs on my teams. Yeah, I get a little pissed off. Come on, they're 5-1.
Right. Listen though, MVS been with Kansas City for a couple of years now. Right. He should be able to have that bond, that chemistry with Mahomes. See, Lou,
no question. I'm not questioning that.
We have to stop with West Wait. Let's see. Nagy been with Kansas City for a minute. MVS knows it. Scott Moore, it's his second year. They should be building trust already. We gotta stop that. Scott Moore and MVS been with them.
Mm-hmm.
It should be automatic right now. Mm-hmm. Right? For Rashee Rice, I get it, a slow start. Slow start for Rashee. Justin Ross, I get even Justin Ross. Kadarius Toney, no excuses. Scott Moore, no excuses. MVS, there's no excuses. We should be making plays right now. We should be like a juggernaut right now on offense.
And I'll ask you, what do you attribute that to? We should be doing this.
See,
Why?
It's Nagy. It's You know what?
Nagy ain't out there throwing the ball.
I'm gonna say this. It's the work ethic. Then what is it? It ain't Nagy. Is it the work ethic? What is it?
Everything you hear. Reed works these guys as hard as anybody. I'm sure the guys are doing their best to do whatever the hell it is that they're trying to accomplish. But again, it's hard to point at play calling because, again, they had nearly 400 yards in offense last night.
Right.
Okay. They had a bunch of first down, whatever. It was in the red zone where the issues are. And again, sometimes they get a little too cute with the play calling. Mm-hmm. And if they maybe commit a little bit more to the run, or if you're going to go for it on 4th and short, let's have the ball in 15's hands and let him make the decision. He's pretty good. So,
right.
So again, I hear what you're saying, but again, you're saying it's week 7, they're 5-1-6. There's 11 games left before they get to the tournament. So there's plenty of runway to get a little bit more acclimated on offense. And we want to peak at the right time. I'm not saying they're holding back, but there's steps. You can't skip steps, and it's a building process. Yeah. How many teams are out there doing the same thing that are 1-4 or 2-3 or 0-5 right now?
Yeah, I get what Lou's saying, and I also get what you're saying, Dre. Lou saying you gotta give it time. Dre saying these guys been here a long time, and it
should be better. Now don't get me wrong, it should be better, but it's just not yet.
Dre looking at George Pickens that the Chiefs passed on.
That would be you, Botox. That would be you. That's your boy. That would be you, sir.
you looking at George Pickens, you know what I mean? Then you looking at Sky Moore, like, okay, you know, I understand, but my guy's Rashid Rice, and I want him, you know, I don't play fantasy. I don't do all that. I just want the guy
to steal a phrase from Coach Prime. He's coming.
Hey, you know what's crazy though,
coming.
Lou? No, hey, that's a good point, Lou. You know what's crazy, real quick? I don't think the Chiefs receiver. There's no dog in these receivers. You brought up Pickens, right? You brought up Pickens, right? Pickens want that ball. Pickens the dog. Pickens wants the smoke.
Well, I think Rice can be that guy.
He could be, but who else besides Rashid Rice that has that dog in him that want the smoke?
I think Justin Ross is that guy too.
Thank you.
At one
point, Lou. I set it up for you, Lou.
At one point in his career, he was like the guy. He was the guy in college football. I mean, it was him and T. Higgins, and it was Justin Ross was the better prospect. Everybody said if he was able to come out after his freshman year, he might have been a top 10 pick. So again, it's health. It's time on task. He's coming too. Trust me. I mean, it's going to happen. It's just a matter of time.
I see it happening, but again, if we get in can the Chiefs win a shootout? Can we win that shootout? Because it's we got the defense, and you know, I'm switching over to the defense. You know, can we win a shootout? we got a defense that can hold us in there now, but can we get this offense going and where we get in this?
We may not need to win a shootout. I think that's the point.
So Lou's statement is this: we have a run game that will sustain the shootout with a good defense and controlling of the clock and making better decisions down the stretch.
Tom Brady won like that also. So.
May not have a ton of style points, but it just looks a little bit different right now. And I get it.
You know,
we want to see the fireworks. We want to see
like the Eagles, kind of like the Eagles right now. They're playing a real grinded out game right now. They're grinding games out. Okay,
we just spoiled as Chiefs fans, and we just want offense. We want more. We want the fireworks. But
Tyreek is not walking through that door.
Clowning. You're right. You're
so,
right.
You know, with that said, man. Speaking of the defense. They held Russell Wilson to 13 passes for 22 attempts, 95 yards, and 1 touchdown, with a passer rating of 46.6 with 31 rushing yards. What did you have to say about this performance, Lou? What you got to say about it?
Okay, again, the defense, if I'm looking what I'm encouraged by is just about everything. Every level of the defense made plays. Mm-hmm. And if I had a concern, I mean, now I'm nitpicking, is maybe some of the down 4 missed a few tackles in the run game early. They let Russell escape a couple of times, but that's nitpicking. That stuff's going to happen. Those guys get paid too. But, you know, I thought they got pressure on Russ. When he did have time, the defensive backs were in position. And they were taking the ball away. Again, turnovers typically come in bunches, and they've been saying this since last year. They're getting hands on the ball. Now they're catching the ball. Now they're taking it away, and I'm here for it. It's so refreshing to not feel like, you know, we're at a disadvantage when we put the defense on the field. I feel empowered. I feel like we're going to get the ball back very quickly.
Most definitely. Go ahead, Mr. Bolton.
And what watching the defense and Trent McDuffie, what you called him last show?
T-cuffs. Come on. It's not just me. It's spreading through Chiefs Kingdom, Hense. Come on.
Mr. T-cuffs himself.
Man, T-cuffs himself.
T-cuffs
is forcing the ball out. I said, now I looked at the jersey number. I said, is that Marcus Peterson with a better attitude out there? I said, is it? No, I'm just playing.
Hey, they both went to Washington.
They both went to Washington. They both wear number 22. I'm just saying like this. Trent McDuffie, the linebackers, the young linebackers are looking good. You know, Nick Bolton right off an injury, come back to get an interception.
Speed.
The D line is looking good, and you never know. Frank Clark could be back. He just got released. You know what I mean? He got released, so he could be back, coming over here and adding to the defensive line. And also who's coming back is Charles. Charles coming back, number 90 on the Chiefs defense. This defense is going to get way better. It's going to be fantastic. It's going to be lights out. What you guys say, Coach?
I mean, all phases of the defense is incredible. There's no weaknesses to that defense, man. The only weakness is you don't want to keep the boys. You don't want to keep the boys on the field too long.
All right.
Oh no, hold on, wait.
I thought I thought you were going to go somewhere where we're not going.
I was going to go creep up. I was going to knock on that door. I was going to knock on that door, Lou.
But
no,
not today.
I'm going
not today. It's Victory Friday.
Victory Friday, Light Friday.
They're rotating the DBs. For those of you maybe joining us for the first time, there's a lot of Joshua Williams hate on this show.
Kareem, no.
We will not stand for it. Number two.
Kareem,
number two in your program, number one in your heart. That's my boy. Jimmy Willie official on Twitter. Look him up.
That's my guy too. It's me and Lou guy. We not gonna stand for this today.
But you know what? Again, that secondary is so stingy. They locked on. And I never seen this type of defense from Kansas City. We seen one corner that was good. We seen a corner that was opportunistic, right?
Mm-hmm.
We seen that corner. We seen a veteran here and there. But the consistency play, the consistent play from these DBs is incredible. Like they're locking guys up. They're opposing they will. This is the defense. This is championship defense at its finest. You can get pressure. You can get sacks. Linebackers are fast. They do tackle open spaces and they make plays. That's all you want from a defense.
You don't see. I don't know that I've seen one guy just like running wide open in the defense. That actually there's been a pass hit. I mean, everything seems to be contested, and that's again, it is refreshing. And like I said, I'm here for it.
It looking like the Giants defense. Spags got all his pieces when he's with the Giants. You know, the Giants was out there.
You remember that run? You remember that run Giants had against Green Bay, Dallas, Super Bowl? You know, because you need good pieces for a defense. You don't need stars. You need good pieces that fit that scheme. And Spags
he had Michael Strahan. What was the guy with the who?
Tuck.
Justin Tuck, OC Umanura, JPP.
Do you know how dominate? And them all of them guys end up being stars. You know, but they see one thing about Specs is he want a healthy rotation of guys to keep him fresh.
Well, I think everybody does, but yeah, absolutely.
True, but you know,
when they would put that NASCAR package out there when they put like on third and long, and they'd have 4 defensive ends rushing the passer all at once. You know, that's something to see. And I think when you mentioned Hense, you mentioned Omenahu coming back, you know, that's going to add another wrinkle to what Spags can do, turning up pressure. And, you know, I know he likes to send extra guys, but I tell you what, I mean, it might be something to see if they can get to the quarterback with just the down 4.
They're gonna be dangerous.
And again, it's just really, we don't necessarily have to see the fireworks on offense. I know as Chiefs fans, again, I'm beating a dead horse.
You want to see it?
We want to see it, but you know what? Just keep winning.
It's a defense turn. It's a defense turn to get that spark to the city now.
And they're coming through. I mean, that's just it. It is so. I mean, I was a fan back in the days of Marty, and the defense was suffocating, but offensively was just a hard watch. But this is a balanced team, and it's going to get scary. Mark my words, Dre. I've seen it. I see the future.
Kareem, the biggest fan of the show, he said that Matt Nagy got Patrick Mahomes playing like Matt Castle.
Come on, Kareem, man, you guys go to the same dispensary. What's happening here?
No, that's what he said. But again, the offense, the defense is looking lights out. It's like they got talent at every level. D-line, linebackers,
they do.
Corners, and safeties. It's like you cannot. It's all pieces of the defense you kind of mess with. Chris Jones and Mike Dana. Man, if the Chiefs gonna have a hard time keeping Mike Dana because
don't forget about Furious George.
You got Furious George.
I'm calling Petey Pat George.
because he came out there to he trained with Tama Ali in the offseason, and it looked like it's paying off. You got Chris Jones just coming straight off the beach in Florida, and
fresh off
still
the beach.
still got sand between his toes, and still out here, it's still sacking quarterbacks. And you got L'Jarius Sneed in a contract year. Is playing lights out. Willie Gay, Nick Bolton, Chanel.
A plethora of good people.
I think everybody that was on the field last night made plays.
Yes, they did.
When their number was called or they were like in the fray, they made plays. Maybe not every single play, but they made plays on the ball. A lot of batted balls at the line of scrimmage, the interceptions, fumbles. I mean, it really is great to watch. Before we get to the picks, I guess one of the stories or kind of minor stories that came out of last night was Agent 89, Steve Smith, who works for the NFL Network. And he's great. I mean, I want to lead off with that. He will give you his opinion. He will give you all the smoke, to use Coach Dre's words. And he doesn't suffer fools, right? I mean, he's just not going to deal with it.
And he right about what he say. He's calling you out on something that you need to work on.
Sometimes the approach can be a little rough, especially for TV. But he's one of the legendary trash talkers in the league. I think anytime you can watch a film of him mic'd up, it's legendary. It's some of the most exciting film that you'll ever see, and just the talk, and then he'd back it up. So last night, evidently, well, first off, Judy's been having his trials in Denver, right? First round pick, really hasn't lived up to that billing. He's been mentioned in trade talks, and a lot of the Denver media has been talking about it. And he put out a tweet, something like the old heads, whatever he said. And then Schlereth, chimed in. Rod Smith caught some strays. And these are Super Bowl winners. These are legends in Denver, and he's kind of calling them out. Okay, so evidently Steve called Judy out on his podcast as well, as maybe he's a jag, just a guy, not a first-round pick. And Steve, I guess, was on the sideline, and they went to him from the studio, and he said that he was going to go to Judy and congratulate him on playing better, and he wanted to apologize. Jerry wasn't really there for that, and may have used some coarse terms, or may have cursed at him, may have given him a gesture or two. And Steve kind of came back and went all back in on what he had said initially. And, you can watch the video, on the internet. It's not hard to find. But the bottom line is he left it as, if any teams call me about Jerry Jeudy about in a trade, I'm going to say no. Don't trade for the guy. He's a tier 3 wide receiver. So I guess as far as you guys are concerned, how would you characterize just the exchange? He came back later and almost made a racial comment about it, about as far as being black on black crime. So Dre, how do you characterize just that whole thing?
Man, I look at it as, again, Lou, when you know Steve Smith, you know what kind of person he is. He's straight shoot from the hip.
He's bringing it.
He's straightforward with it. Like, he's straightforward. And to me, Jerry Jeudy has to understand this. He's not lying. If you was the elite receiver, Steve Smith is going to give you your props. He's going to give you your props. But, as what he, like, on the platform, this is Steve Smith. This is what he do. So you can't take offense to that. Now, he did tell him, like, I'm going to congratulate him. He played a pretty good game. I'm going to give him. And for you to get, all riled up, that shows the type of your type of personality. You can't take from critiquing. You're going to break down when trash talk begins. Like, he couldn't handle it back in the early 90s or the early 2000s because he'll fold. He just speaking truth. It's football.
And just like what Jerry said, man, it's like this generation now, they just can't take criticism. You got You can't go nowhere if somebody's in a better position than you, or been there before you, or have accomplished things that you trying to accomplish. It's okay to sit there and take notes and listen and take criticism. People don't know how to take criticism these days. He said what he said. He said, "I'm sorry. I apologize for what I said on my show and calling you just a jag." But again, he said, but the guys kept cursing him out and everything else. Besides that, you cannot be a great wide receiver. You can't take criticism for somebody that's in the Hall of Fame, right? Absolutely. You know what I mean? The guys that put up numbers, the guys that been out there, one of the greatest receivers that ever played this game, that's out there that's doing all this. If you can't take criticism off of somebody that's given that played this game, then why are you playing in this position? And also on Lou take, what Lou said about the Steve Smith bringing it back to the racism thing. I don't think he needed to go there. I think Steve Smith should have just left it where it was, because it wasn't never looked at it that way. I didn't look at it that way. I just looked at it as a football player coaching up another football player. And some of these players, just like the Eric Bieniemy thing, these players can't take hard coaching. I don't know. The rules that got soft for them. They spoiled. All these. You can't take hard criticism coaching. If you can't take that, then why are you on the team? Why are you making these millions of dollars if you can't take somebody saying that you need to play better?
What do you think the role of social media maybe might have in this? Because a lot of the constructive criticism, if you will, comes out and it's public and for everybody to see, right? And in terms of Steve, and I don't know that he made it racial. I think his point was that, like, some people will say that I shouldn't do this because I'm a black man, he's a black man, and I'm tearing him down. I shouldn't do that. But that part of it doesn't matter. It's wide receiver.
Absolutely.
I'm giving my opinion. Now, the one pushback I would have on Steve is that he maybe went at him a little hard. Okay, Jerry did what he did to him and whatever, maybe flipped him off, maybe he said F you, whatever he said. Does Steve then have, I mean, he could have just like reported that, but then he went further and almost doubled down on what he had said earlier on his podcast, even though he said he was gonna apologize, but when the player clapped back at him, that's when he decided, okay, I'm going to let you have it now. Maybe the apology really wasn't an apology. And it was like, hey, you've played a few good games, buddy, but don't pop off against, your Denver predecessors, because they actually won games and won Super Bowls.
Absolutely.
But I put it like this. What he said at the end, it just, it doesn't, like, again, these players got to learn how to take criticism. And what he said was, hey, if you can't, what he said, if I see how my response to you saying I'm sorry, then if you can't take that apology, then why can I recommend other teams to trade for you?
Yeah,
I wouldn't.
It's action, guys. It's about action on that field. You do the talking on that field.
Right.
Steve Smith talked and backed it up.
Right.
He'll tell you in your face, this is what I'm going to do to you, and he's going to do it. That's why
maybe having his feet on the grass got the juice, the old juices flowing. Like he was like a player again, right? And it's like, if that guy's going to talk trash to me, I don't care if I've got this NFL jacket on. I'm going to go back.
Look at his face, though. Look at his face.
And I'm going to tell him what's what. So I don't. Again, it's just a strange dynamic. The whole thing happening, and I think it just goes back to the entire culture in Denver right now, and that the yard sale is open. And if anybody wants to make an offer for these guys, Denver's going to listen. So, all right, how about we pick some games?
Let's go.
Let's get into it.
Let's get right into it.
Before we lead off, what's our records from last week, Dre?
Well, record from last week, sir. I'm gonna go ahead and just, because I don't have that sheet on me right now because of the game that happened yesterday. I was very disappointed. But I say this: I won, so it's all that really matters.
How we know? How we know? How we know you won, sir?
How we
I-
know? Because I make great picks. So
I had an 11-point win, so you have that. I said 27-16.
Mhm.
you did.
Yeah.
So,
The defense played better than I expected.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I think my record from last week was I think 6-8, maybe 6-8. I won 6. I got 6 games correct.
Let's go, Dre. Let's rifle through these.
Let's get it. All
Let's get it. Let's get it going.
Get to the tunes, sir.
Strike up the band.
Let's get it.
Be ready for you, Drake.
All right, guys. Without further ado, let's jump right into it. And I will be keeping. Okay, here we go. Commanders and Falcons. Who y'all got?
I got Atlanta in that one. Minus by the way, Atlanta's a 2.5-point favorite at home.
Okay. All right, so you got
You said who was it again?
Atlanta or the Commanders?
I got Atlanta.
Okay, you got Atlanta. I'm gonna take the enemy. Okay, Cardinals and Rams. You know who I got.
Okay, the Rams are 7-point favorites at home. I don't see Arizona traveling well on this one, so I'm going to go with the Rams.
Okay,
I'm going to Rams. Cardinals and Broncos are playing for Caleb Williams.
Don't forget the
All right,
Vikings.
well.
The Vikings also.
Yeah. Okay, here we go. Lions and Buccaneers, guys.
Give me MCDC, Motor City Dan, Detroit. They are 3.5-point favorites in Tampa, though. It's a home game for the Bucks.
I take the Buccaneers.
Okay, here we go. Well, we already know who won that game: Broncos and Chiefs. All right, next one: Ravens and Titans.
In London, Baltimore, 4.5-point favorites there. They went there early. They left on Monday, so I'm going to say they got acclimated quicker than Tennessee does. Derrick Henry's not running nearly as well as he has in the past. I'm going with Baltimore.
Baltimore, okay.
I'm going Baltimore also. I think Baltimore gonna have a bounce back game. Even though all them receiver had dropped pass, and they should have won that game in Pittsburgh. So I'm going Baltimore again.
All right, here we go. Next one: Vikings and Bears. Who you got?
All right, that one is in Chicago. Minnesota is a 3-point favorite, but I'm going with a home team. I'm going to go with the Bears. Justin Fields, DJ Moore. I think they're going to play. They're going to score some points. They've been on a little bit of a roll, and Minnesota I'm just not feeling it. Caleb Williams.
I'm going also the Chicago Bears because the Vikings were really out Justin Jefferson, so I don't see them pulling that one off. Well, who you got, Drake? You got
the Bears. I got the Bears. I like Fields. I think Fields gonna step it up.
We all have the Bears.
Let's stay secondary.
We all took the Bears, so that means Minnesota's going to win.
Can you hear me now, Mr. Bowtie?
Go ahead.
All right.
Keep that mic closed.
All right. Seahawks and Bengals.
All right. That game is in Cincinnati. It looks like the Bengals are 2.5-point favorites, but I'm going to go with Geno. I'm going to take Geno Smith, and maybe they got a little fool's gold last week in Arizona, Cincinnati, and Seattle's a much better defense. So I'm going to go with Seattle.
Some telling me that the Bengals are gonna lose. I'm taking the
Whatever.
Seahawks.
I bet you would.
Crush the Bengals. Hey, I want to see Witherspoon versus Jamar Chase.
And it's some smoke in the city with that right there. It is some smoke in the city. All right, you know Joe Burrow's my guy, so I'm going with Smoking Joe just because it's Smoking Joe. We got 49ers and Browns.
All right, that game's in Cleveland. I live fairly close. So the weather's going to be crappy, a lot of rain. Looks like Deshaun Watson's not playing again. Matter of fact, that line was San Francisco -4 early in the week. It's now San Francisco -10. You rarely see that kind of movement. I like San Francisco at 4. I like them now. I think San Francisco wins this game easy.
Some tell me that Cleveland's going to win this game. Some are telling me this is a trap game.
Could be.
And I'm losing real bad, so I'm going to take the 49ers. I'll take the 49ers.
I take the 49ers as well, but I do love the rookie coming in, the backup for the Cleveland Browns, because Deshaun Watson ain't playing. I do like the rookie.
DTR. He kind of struggled against Baltimore. It might actually be PJ Walker.
Well. I want to see the rookie, but if that's the case, then go Niners. All right, guys, here we go. All right, here we go. We got Panthers and Dolphins. Who we got?
Miami's at home. They're 13.5 or 14-point favorites. I mean, this might be a lot like the Giants game. Put on the track shoes. They're going to be running all over the field. I think Miami wipes the field with them.
You got Miami.
It was Miami and who?
Miami's playing Carolina.
Miami and
Carolina. Yeah, I take Miami there.
You taking Miami?
Yep.
Okay, you taking Miami. Well, I'm taking Miami. Yeah, I'm taking Miami. Too much offensive power. I don't trust the young kid, so I'm going Miami. All right, Colts and Jaguars. All
right, that's in Jacksonville. They're coming back from England. They won a couple of games there. They're 4-point favorites. That looks really low, which scares me a little bit. Gardner Minshew in for the Colts. I like Jacksonville as a team. I really like Doug Peterson. I'm going to stick with the Jags here. Jacksonville.
I think the Jaguars going to take that game.
Jacksonville too.
I take the Jag.
Okay, Jacksonville. I'm gonna go with Jacksonville. I got Jacksonville too, guys. Because no, take that back. I don't know. Kaminsky is playing good too for the Colts, right? So I like Trevor Lawrence. So I'm going Trevor Lawrence. All right, guys, we got Saints and Texans.
All right, that game's in Houston. New Orleans is a slight favorite. They're 1.5-point favorites. I think that game in New England, again, you talk about fool's gold. That was just more a function of New England being just a dreadful team right now. So I'm going to discount that completely. I'm going to take the home team. I'm going to go with Houston.
Okay, Houston. Sir, go ahead.
I'm gonna stick with the Saints. I'm gonna take the Saints.
He taking the Saints. Okay. I like my guy, out of Ohio. So I'm going to Texas. The man playing at an incredible high level as a rookie. Leading in completions. So that's what I'm going with.
For those of you keeping score at home, that's CJ Stroud.
Absolutely. What an incredible weapon they got.
Yeah.
All right. Here we go again. Patriots and Raiders.
What an ugly game this is. This is like the battle of the Patriot way. The Raiders are 3-point favorites. New England's been outscored 72-3 their last two games. There's no way. I'll go with Jimmy G here. Give me the Raiders.
Okay. Cold top.
I'll go with the Raiders.
What? Division? I'm shocked. I am shocked at you both tied. Well, I'm taking the Raiders because I don't trust the Patriots offense.
And it's some telling me
3 points in the last 8 quarters. What makes you say that?
Right. I don't know. Okay, guys. Eagles and Jets. Who we got?
Philadelphia -7. It's at MetLife or Jet Life, whatever you want to call it. I don't care what you call it. I don't think the Jets have a shot here. The Eagles are just playing winning football. And give me the Eagles all day.
All right, Eagles. All right.
I'm going for the upset of the week. I'm going to Jets to upset the Eagles. I'm going. I feel it. It's
Sauce
upset.
Gardner, AJ Brown, Sauce. You like that matchup right there? I do too. I'm going. I gotta. It's a tough one. I like Jets. I gotta go to the Jets, man. Because my son likes Sauce Gardner, and I'm a fan of my son. So I'm a fan of my son. I'm a fan of his team. I gotta go with the Jets, man. All right, guys. Couple more games left, fellas. Couple more games left. Okay, we got Giants and Bills. Giants and Bills. It's a tough one. Two high-powered offenses.
Sunday night football. NBC wishing like hell they could have flexed out of this. I think you're going to get Tyrod Taylor instead of Daniel Jones. I don't think that makes a difference. Buffalo's a 14.5-point favorite. You typically don't see that in the NFL, but Buffalo, this is going to be gross. This is going to be bad. This will be over by halftime. Bills.
Destiny Child, pay my bills.
I got another upset happening.
Wow. Okay.
I got Taylor coming back playing his old team with the Bills and taking them out. So I feel like the Giants will win this game. And quote my words, they will win by 10 points.
Wow. Okay. I think you said the same thing about them over Miami last week. So we're going to take that with a little grain of salt.
All right, guys. Well, I gotta go with the Bills because I think the Bills is too much right now. I think Allen's gonna pull on the show. I think the Giants lost their confidence right now, so I'm going with the Bills. Cowboys, big game, guys. Cowboys and Chargers.
Okay, this is a weird one. Dallas is favored. It's in LA, but typically SoFi gets taken over by the visiting team because LA is a destination, and no matter who the road team is, they got a ton of fans.
Right.
I don't care. Right now, give me Justin Herbert over Dak. You got Kellen Moore kind of slapping Mike McCarthy around a little bit after he was kind of made the scapegoat for the Cowboys last year. Give me the Chargers whatever. Give me the Chargers straight up. But yeah.
Okay.
I'm going for the Cowboys to take this game. I think Marcus Parsons is going to be too much. I think the defense is going to turn around from the embarrassment that they had with the 49ers. I think the offense is going to turn around the embarrassment that they had with the 49ers. And I think Brett Prescott is going to have a better game than Justin Herbert. And the Chiefs is going to go in the next Sunday after that to take on the Chargers and take them out also.
Okay. He must not be watching the Dallas Cowboys Dak play.
I watched him.
No, I know who I'm taking. I'm taking that man, that Thunderbolt. I'm taking that Charger. I'm taking that mighty Charger. I'm going with the Chargers, man. Herbert.
All right, gang. There you have it. All winners, gang. That's going to do it for this version of at Chiefs Blitz. I want to thank you for making a choice and hooking up with us today. Subscribe, hit the subscribe button. Truly appreciate it. We want to thank our sponsor, Supreme Lending. Call our man Dave Purdy at 913-225-7304 for all your mortgage and lending needs. Thanks, Dave, for your support. And for the fans out there, again, thank you.
He may be related to Brock Purdy. Maybe.
Yeah, there you go. This could be Uncle Dave in Kansas City, man. Let's go. All right, so we'll check in on you on Monday. We get the weekend off. Victory Friday. How about those Chiefs?
How about those Chiefs?
So with that said, guys, we'll see you next. We'll see you Monday. See you guys Monday. All right.
Again, real quick. Hold on, wait. Hold on now. Before I go, I gotta give a shout out to my boy Kareem. Ken Sinclair. How you doing? We gotta show some love, man. Brian Frazier. Brian Frazier becoming a regular right now. Vincent. I'm gonna call him Salsa.
Salsa.
I'm gonna call him Hot Salsa right now because look, Nick been putting in a good word for your salsa.
Mom whips up that salsa. We can't.
Yeah,
wait
man.
To taste it.
Listen. We here. We here. I like spicy food.
It. Let's do it.
Let's get to it. So with that being said, again, Lou, take us on out, Lou.
All right, gang. Like I said, we're back on Monday. Victory Friday. Let's do it. Let's go.
All right, guys.